From broken rings to perfect timing, from tractors to a literal earthquake. These are rare one-in-a-trillion WWE moments that you'll have to see to believe.
Are they? Oh my goodness!
Kicking things off with the smoothest superkick of all time. It was Adam Cole versus Ricochet at NXT TakeOver, and Ricochet was doing his usual high-flying antics. However, in a moment that had the fans going crazy, Adam Cole nailed the high flyer with a super kick in midair that became immortalized in NXT history.
This could be it! Oh, no, that is it!
But this wasn't the only memorable spot Ricochet was a part of. During his feud with the Velveteen Dream, Ricochet leaped over the top rope and literally landed on his feet like he was Spider-Man. But when it comes to being smooth, nothing beats Randy Orton's most iconic RKO in history. During an episode of Raw in 2010, Evan Bourne went for a shooting star press. But at the last possible second, the Apex Predator caught him midair with an RKO that had fans hitting the replay button like crazy.
You gotta be kidding me!
Talking of smooth, how about the time when Roman Reigns proved that he's not only the head of the table, but also the master of the chairs? During a steel cage match featuring his Shield buddy Dean Ambrose on Raw, Reigns came out to make the save for his brother. In a moment that showcased Reigns' main character energy, Roman threw a steel chair inside the cage, and the weapon landed perfectly. And speaking of Roman's precision, he showed it again at SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar. While standing on his tractor, Brock did some trash talking, then threw the mic to Roman, who caught it effortlessly without even trying. However, it's not just the tribal chief who can catch things smoothly. During an episode of Raw recently, Braun Breaker and AJ Styles got into a standoff. In a fit of aggression, Breaker took off his shirt and threw it at AJ, who caught it without blinking an eye. Now that's some phenomenal aura. But this wasn't the first time AJ has shown why he's called the Phenomenal One. During a match on TNA against his longtime rival, Christopher Daniels, AJ did the smoothest fake-out in history and then nailed Daniels with a dropkick. And speaking of TNA, how about the time when AJ was in an Ultimate X match and Chris Sabin nailed him with a dropkick that almost broke his neck? Or how about Elix Skipper's incredible show of athleticism when he walked across the top of the cage and hit a move that left everyone speechless? Even Kurt Angle was going crazy during his TNA run, hitting moonsaults off the top of the cage and somersaults from the stage, while Abyss was going through barbed wire on a weekly basis. But sometimes, the craziest moments don't even come from the wrestlers. During a match between Bret Hart and Triple H on Raw, a giant paper airplane suddenly glided from the crowd and landed perfectly inside the ring. Speaking of perfect landings, how about the time when some fan with incredible aim threw a roll of toilet paper that nailed Umaga right in the head? However, sometimes wrestlers play off these fan interferences and amplify their character. On Monday Nitro, a fan threw a drink that hit Scott Hall right in the head, but the bad guy just used it to slick back his hair and kept going like nothing happened. In similar fashion, during an ECW show, fans were throwing trash at Paul Heyman after he screwed RVD out of the title. Some fan nailed Heyman with a drink, but the Wiseman completely no-sold it and didn't even flinch. Speaking of no-sells, how about the time when Kenny Omega kicked out of his own finisher at 1?
Nobody kicks it!
It's no surprise that fans love the use of weapons in a wrestling match, be it bodies crashing through tables, stiff chair shots to the head, or insane ladder spots that gets the crowd going crazy. But sometimes, these weapons have a mind of their own. At TLC 2016, during the match between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, the ladder fell on impact and somehow hit every single rope on the way down. But sometimes, these weapons don't go down so easily and decide to fight back. During a match between Sami Zayn and Finn Balor at a live event, Sami threw Finn through a table to finish him off. But in a freak accident, the table decided to fight back and cut Zayn open. But even tables aren't as cruel as kendo sticks. During an Extreme Rules match on Raw, Luke Harper was going berserk with a kendo stick. After beating down the Ops with the stick, Harper tried to throw it on the mat, but instead it bounced up, allowing Bubba to catch it midair and immediately start beating Harper with it. Now that was cool. Samoa Joe's Nope has become one of the most infamous spots in the world of wrestling. This is when a wrestler tries to hit Joe with a high-flying move, but Joe simply moves out of the way and lets them crash. John Cruz wasn't happy with it, though.
Turn it around, fires Kaz off.
Speaking of Joe, let's switch things to his former NXT rival. Finn Balor had one of the best entrances in WWE history, with fans raising their arms in sync with his music. What made it even better was the time when the referee wanted to get in on the fun.
Balor.
But even that perfect sync from the referee pales in comparison to the next moment on our list. During an episode of SmackDown when AJ Styles was mentioning his opponents one by one, LA Knight's music hit at the absolute perfect timing.
Roman Reigns and
Speaking of perfect timing, you gotta talk about the finish of the 2007 Backlash main event. John Cena was defending his title against Edge, Randy Orton, and Shawn Michaels. In the final stretch, when everyone was spamming their finisher, Michaels nailed Cena with a sweet chin music that had Cena fall on Orton and get the pin. But that wasn't the only perfectly timed finish that involved Cena and Orton. During their iconic Iron Man match at Bragging Rights, the scores were tied and Cena had Orton locked in the STF. It looked like Orton might just survive the clock, but with just 5 seconds remaining, Orton tapped out. That was the perfect ending to an emotional feud. But sometimes it isn't the wrestlers, it's the fans who create the most emotional moments. When Seth Rollins turned on the Shield with that devastating chair shot, a fan screamed at the perfect time.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Rollins probably deserved to get his ass kicked by Braun and Bronson for that. Speaking of Braun Breaker, he's built a reputation for spearing people into new dimensions. Just look at this clip of when he speared Carlito on Raw. And just to prove how powerful Braun Breaker really is, he once hit the ropes with so much speed and force that he literally moved the entire ring. Speaking of moving the ring, how about the time when Big Show and Mark Henry literally broke the ring? Or how about when Brock Lesnar showed up on a tractor and repositioned the ring? Speaking of Brock Lesnar, at SummerSlam 2018, he showed off his superhuman skills when he took Braun Strowman's briefcase and threw it so hard from outside the ring that it went all the way to the WWE stage and broke the screen. Speaking of breaking things, you simply cannot forget the time when Triple H literally broke into Randy Orton's house and threw him through the window. It's a shame that their WrestleMania match was a stinker. Otherwise, this could have been the perfect feud. But speaking of perfect, here's a throwback to when Shawn Michaels delivered the most picture-perfect super kick ever against Shelton Benjamin. The Money in the Bank ladder match had always had some crazy spots, like the time when AJ Styles fell from the top, or when Shelton Benjamin sprinted up a ladder, or when Kofi Kingston tried using 2 broken ladders to climb. Speaking of Kofi, how about his insane Royal Rumble save from 2012? And speaking of the Rumble, how about the time when Batista and Cena went over the top rope in the 2005 Royal Rumble at the exact same time? But to make things crazier, Vince McMahon walked down the ramp and blew up both his quads. The chances of that happening are literally 1 in a million. But while that was embarrassing, even that pales in comparison to the time when Titus O'Neil had the worst Rumble entrance ever.
People, and he just... Oh my God!
During a tables match between Big Show and Cody Rhodes, Big Show accidentally fell through the table himself while trying to attack Cody in one of the most unfortunate and realistic endings in WWE history. Bobby Lashley pulled off one of the most dangerous stunts ever when he burst through the cage and landed on Umaga. Speaking of crazy cage spots, how about the time when Jeff Hardy jumped on Umaga from the top of the cage? Or from the top of a production truck? It's a shame that Jeff's demons got the best of him during his prime in WWE, and his loss to CM Punk was his final big singles title match in the company. Speaking of Punk, while the best in the world is known for his clobbering time phrase during his entrance, how about the time when Layla clobbered him in the head with her shoe? The SmackDown scene during the late 2000s was truly crazy. Lesnar and Big Show broke the ring. Jeff Hardy got attacked by his own pyro. Stone Cold and Booker T were brawling in a supermarket. Big Show chokeslammed Kurt Angle from 50 feet high. Angle shot Big Show with a tranquilizer. Cena took a piss on Taker's grave. But perhaps the craziest night in SmackDown history took place in 2007. During a steel cage match between Taker and Batista on SmackDown, both men's feet touched the floor at the exact same time. But that wasn't even the wildest part of the night. Just 2 minutes later, after Mark Henry destroyed Taker, Edge ran out with his Money in the Bank briefcase and beat Taker for the world title. But what makes this even crazier is the fact that Edge had won the briefcase without even finishing the ladder match at WrestleMania. Thanks to Mr. Kennedy's bad luck, the rated R superstar stole the briefcase and became champion in a span of 2 weeks. But speaking of bad luck, how about the time when a literal earthquake started in the middle of a match during Raw and the ring was shaking like crazy? Now that's something I thought I'd never see happen. And speaking of things nobody saw coming, how about the time when the entire arena was shocked into silence when Brock Lesnar broke The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania? Personally for me, it's a tie between the end of the streak and Cena's heel turn when it comes to the most shocking moments in WWE history. But let me know which one shocked you the most, and check out this video next to relive the weirdest year in WWE history.